Today's video of the SMP is probably my most favorite video of all time. As you can see behind us, there are markers with letters S, A, B, C, D, F because we are making a Minecraft mob tier list where me and Jericho will rank every single mob that has ever been in the game. Some quick rules before we get into this. Ones that were supposed to be in the game but weren't, such as mob votes or announcements, are not on here. And baby mobs will not be on this list because they're kind of pretty much the same as their regular, except for like the baby zombie or something. But all the really old mobs are in here, and all the April Fool's mobs are in here. So it sure is to be a treat, so you're gonna want to stick to the end.
So the first mob that we are going to be ranking is the Axolotl, which is represented by pink terracotta. Now, this is going to get me canceled, but I believe that the Axolotl, if I can actually like put it in the end frame, I think the Axolotl is an F tier. Now, the reason why I think the Axolotl is an F tier is because it serves no purpose in the game. It's meant to be cute, and really, who needs that or wants that? In my opinion, it's just F. Have the bat, which is represented by a block of coal. Now, I am going to put this one in the D tier, mainly because I feel like it has a little bit more of a place in the game than an Axolotl does, but overall, it is pretty pointless. It doesn't drop anything unique or anything. And really, it's just there to enhance the feel of a cave. So I think it is just a bit better than the Axolotl. So, alright, coming up next is B. Now, okay, I'm going to put the B in the C.
B in the C.
Yeah. Now, I do think that the B's are a pretty solid part of Minecraft. They can attack you, obviously make honey. They have beehives, and I just think it's pretty cool. I just think it's a pretty cool mob. Coming at next is Blaze. Now I'm gonna give the Blaze. Ooh, that's tough. Put the Blaze in a B tier. Now I personally really like Blazes, but I can see how all people wouldn't. They are a pretty big part in the game, because obviously you need blaze powder for as vendor. I personally think that they're a pretty cool mob. So now we are on to the cat.
Remember, this is not the Ocelot, this is the cat, the tamed Ocelot.
This is the cat. Now, I'm kind of over here by C and D. It's definitely not an F, it's definitely not a B. I think it's got to go in the D here. I do think that it does have a pretty cool use to scare away creepers, but that's pretty much about it. It's just kind of there for, kind of just there to look cute, you know.
Also, the radius that it scares away creepers from is very small.
Yeah, it is. So, next mob is a cave spider. I'm coming from two different sides here. One is the side of how that they are pretty unique and they're pretty neat addition, but another part is the part of me that's been in mine shafts a bunch, and cave spiders are completely annoying. Oh man, this is tough. I think personally I'd give this an F because I do think that it does have a place in the game, but it's just very annoying. Alright, so coming next we have the chicken. I don't know how high I could go with the chicken, seeing as it is a passive animal. I do think that the chicken is one of the better animals in the game, seeing as you can eat chicken, you can use the feathers for arrows, stuff like that. But I think I'm just gonna give it a C. I don't really think I can go much higher than that. So now we have cod. So C's a passing grade. Fish was in the game of Minecraft before, and they just renamed it. They added some other variants of fish. So I'm gonna put cod in the B tier. All right. So starting out the next one with a bang we have a classic. This is the Creeper. Now, it's definitely between S and A. Creeper is... I'm gonna give it an S, alright? Creeper is just such an iconic part of Minecraft. I mean, when you think of Minecraft, you pretty much think of Creeper. I mean, hell...
You do think Creeper. The only like, just to pitch in here, the only thing that could make anyone not want to put it to S tier is just like they are really annoying.
Coming up next, we have the Dolphin. Okay, now the Dolphin is pretty cool. It's a C or a D tier, honestly. You really don't come across them a lot, and when you do, you know, it's pretty cool. But honestly, considering that they're not a huge part of the game, they only really offer you one thing. I'm gonna put it in the D tier. We have the Donkey. Now the Donkey, it's basically the horse, but just with a different, you know, texture. But it does have a cool feature of which you can add chests to it and carry stuff around, and I think that's pretty useful. I'm gonna put the Donkey at a gracious C tier, even though you could make the argument that since I put Cod in the D tier, I should put the Donkey in the D tier as well. But that's just, you know, that's just my opinion. Coming in with a Drown, it's B or C tier for me. I think the Trident's a pretty cool weapon, and sometimes they do have their little ocean runes that spawn, so I'm gonna give the Drown a C tier, honestly. I think it's a pretty cool mob, and there's definitely some cool things about it. Next we have the Elder Guardian. Okay, I know exactly where I'm going with this. I hate Elder Guardians. I mean, if you're just like in a boat driving past it and you get mining fatigue, that is so annoying. Alright? I mean, especially if you don't have milk, that is one of the most annoying things that can happen to you. Screw Elder Guardians. Just go away, please. Next up, we have the Enderman. Now, honestly, the Enderman is also an iconic part of the Minecraft game, between a B and an A with the Enderman. The only downside to the Enderman, I feel, is that it is kind of annoying to fight them, but at the same time, you could just hop in a pool of water or hop under 2 blocks, place a block above yourself or something, and it's just an easy kill. Personally, I think the Enderman also look pretty cool. Teleportation ability is just pretty cool. I'm gonna give it an A.
Also, they drop Ender Pearls, which are really useful for Eyes of Ender that you need to beat the game.
Alright, Endermites. Let's fucking be real here, okay? Endermites are completely useless. You have a slight chance of one of these spawning when you throw an Ender Pearl. These are small, they're annoying, and we honestly, I honestly just absolutely can't stand their existence, even though it's completely irrelevant to me since I never face any of these. The next one is the Evoker. Okay, we're staying here. Yeah, these things are annoying, dude. Well, the Evoker spawn the Vex, and they can also use other elements of magic that are more powerful than the Witch, and they are just annoying to fight, dude. Just fight me one-on-one with your bare hands. I bet you won't, coward. We have Cow. Now, I'm between a B and a C with the Cow. I think I'm gonna actually give it a B tier since it's a little bit more useful than the chicken. Seeing as you can get leather, you can craft that into leather armor. You can get milk, which you can use to drink, and if you drink it, it will remove potion effects. So, and it's also a food source too. I think it's just a little bit. I think it's a little bit better than chicken, so I'm gonna give it a B tier. Alright, the Fox. Now, I really don't have any strong feelings about the Fox.
Bro,
I
what
think
does the
it
Fox
kind of, feelings for and against it. I'm just gonna put it in a D tier, seeing as I have legitimate reasons for C tier being where they are. I really don't have too much of an argument for D tier. Alright, coming in at gas. Okay, if you kind of like creepers, but they suck 10 times more, and I just can't stand them. Coming up next is a Glow Squid. I don't mean to, you know, be trigger happy with the F section, but by God, these things suck. Whoever voted for these, honestly, like, I hope you step on a Lego.
I voted for these. No.
So next up, we have the goat. Now, just like the fox, I really don't have any strong opinions about the goat. It kind of just exists, and it might drop leather or something. Other than that, I really don't, have any strong opinions on it. So it's gonna go in the D tier. All right, coming up next, we have the Guardian. I'm just gonna give the Guardian a D tier. These things are annoying. Yeah, but I don't want to give too many F tiers, so I'm gonna give it a D tier. Coming up next, we have the Hoglin. These things are annoying. I guess it depends on the circumstances, but I'm just gonna give it an F. Okay. Next, we have the horse. Now, I actually like the horse. Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. Pretty cool mod. I mean, I'm gonna give it a C. Mainly because it doesn't have as many uses as the cow, but I definitely do think that it's a cool, cool mod. Alright, so coming up next we have the Husk. Now, I'm gonna put it in the D tier with a lot of the other recycled items because the other recycled mobs, because it's just a recycled version of the zombie. The only difference is that it gives you hunger or something. Get original, please, but I don't think it's too bad. Alright, coming up we have the llama. I think it's represented by carpet. So the llama. Don't have any really strong feelings about this, but I do think that the fact that they can spit on you and it will deal a little bit of damage is cool. I'm gonna give it a C. Plus it drop leather, so. And plus, when you get warning trader llamas, you can just get free leads, so I think it's actually pretty useful. I'm gonna give it a C. Coming up next, we have magma cubes. Now, this is gonna be completely biased. I mean, you don't really encounter them much, but I really like how magma cubes look. So I'm thinking of. I'm just gonna put it in a B tier. Honestly, I mean, you can use magma cream for potions or something. Okay, coming up next is the Mooshroom. S all the way. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna get. It's between an A and a B for me. I think I'm gonna give the Mooshroom a B. I'm gonna stay here, mainly because of how rare mushroom biomes are. But I definitely do think that they are very cool.
The really rare brown version is.
Oh yeah, the really rare brown version. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool too.
Coming up next, we have the Mule. Now the Mule is. I'm not really sure about the Mule. It is pretty recycled, so
it's just it's a horse and a donkey had a baby. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so the only question I have now is, can you put horse armor on it or chest?
No.
None. Okay, F. I'm just kidding. Then I'm just gonna give it a D tier. Coming up next, we have the Ocelot. Now, I'm just gonna give this thing an F, dude. See, the thing is, when you're trying to tame an Ocelot, it is really hard. Those guys are speedy, and it's just a pain in the rear end to catch one and tame it. Ocelot goes in the F tier. I like how they look, but, and other than that, they're pointless. Like we said with the cat, it only scares away creatures in a small radius. So, Ocelot F. Alright, Panda. The pandas are pretty irrelevant. They just kind of like sit there and eat bamboo. I'll get a D. I'll be nice. So coming up next, we have the Parrot. Now, you can actually tame a parrot, which I do think is pretty cool. I think that they are a nice addition to jungle biomes. They also make some interesting sounds, but I think I'm gonna give it a C. Okay, so again, you have two sides. The one side, which is completely annoyed by phantoms, please just let me live. Stop biting me in the butt. The other side says that they're pretty cool. I like the green eyes. I like their visual looks. I like forget that last part. I like their looks. So I think I'm gonna give it a B. Alright, so next up we have the Wither. Now this is an S or an A, but I think I'm gonna give it an A, okay? And my reason why is that Withers are hard to spawn. Definitely would be down the line and did more damage, which recently we did, or JT his video up on his channel of us fighting through withers together.
Link to that in the description.
Definitely. They're an A tier because I think that they look cool. I like how they shoot their heads at you and they explode. I think that's a pretty cool attack. They don't do much damage, and they're a pretty cool boss in the game. Plus, they drop you another star, which you can use to make a beacon. I think withers are an A. If not, an S. So, coming up next, we have the Snow Golem. Now, I don't really like Snow Golems. I think that they're pretty useless unless you have a snow farm or something. But, even if you do have a snow farm, what do you need a bunch of snow for anyways? Maybe like a build.
Like a Christmas building competition. Link to that video is in the description.
D tier as well. It just really doesn't serve a purpose in the game. Coming up next, we have the Iron Golem. Now, I really like it. I really do. Personally, I'm not a speedrunner or anything. I don't kill them. And I'm pretty chill with villagers, so I like Iron Golems. I think that they're pretty cool. I'm gonna give it a B. I want to give it an A because I like them, but realistically, they don't serve too much purpose in the game. Now we're getting into some items that were from earlier stages of the game. Let's start off with Beast Boy. So Beast Boy was a green-skinned kind of early version of Steve. Really, it just looked hideous. And you know, the NPCs would just kind of walk around randomly, fall into the void. I hate to do this, but I think it's gonna be another low-rated mob for me. I'm gonna give it a D. I'm feeling nice. Coming up next, we have the Giants. Now, I think the Giants are cool, but ultimately they serve no purpose. I'm giving it a C.
A little about the Giants. You can't.
Oh yeah.
What?
Plus, they don't spawn naturally. You have to actually like spawn them in with cheats. So.
Also, they don't do anything anymore. They used to,
Yeah.
but they don't do anything anymore.
Yeah. And next we have Black Steve. Really, the correct thing to do is just put it by Beast Boy. Alright, so coming up next we have the Diamond Chicken. Now, the Diamond Chicken would lay, instead of eggs, they would lay diamond and lapis. And also when aggroed, they would explode. They were part of an April Fool's update or something. I honestly think that that's pretty epic. I'm giving the Diamond Chicken... I'm giving it an A. Alright, so the final item that I have to rank is mob, is the Love Golem. Now, one look at that thing gives me PTSD. Please, just go away. Oh my god, I'll do anything. F.
Alright, Jericho, thank you so much for your segment. I really thought that your opinions were really interesting. Definitely different than what I would have ranked them. First off, I have the pig. Now, the pig, of course, is an iconic mob in Minecraft. You know, you get pork chops, but that's about it. I don't think the pig serves too much of a purpose. You can ride it, but it's, like, incredibly slow. So for this, I'm probably going to give the pig a C tier. So next up, I have the piglin. Now, you can trade with piglins, but piglins also get really mad when you don't have a piece of gold armor on. The ones with crossbows aren't too hard to kill, especially the ones... piglins in general aren't hard to kill, and you can trade with them, which is pretty OP whenever you're trying to do, like, speed runs and stuff. So for that, I'm going to put the piglin at a C tier as well. I mean, I get that they're really useful and stuff. I just think that they're kind of just lame. Alright, so next you have Piglin Brute. Now, Piglin Brutes only spawn in bastions. They don't trade with you, and they hurt a lot more because they have a golden axe. For this, I'm giving a Piglin Brute F tier. I'm not saying that a Piglin Brute is F tier material. I just don't think it shows anything to be a higher tier. Next up, you got the Pillager. Now, these things, they will run in packs sometimes, or they even have their outposts. They have crossbows, and they give you Bad Omen, which means you can start a raid in villages. They dropped this really cool banner, the Ominous banner. Besides that, I mean, they can be really annoying whenever you're trying to loot an outpost. For this, again, I'm going back to C tier. I'm not seeing anything of speciality. I mean, at most, I'd probably put it at B. But besides that, I just don't see it. Next up, we got the polar bear. Polar bears, I think, are really lame. You only see them in snow biomes. They sometimes attack you. I think if you get near, like, their young or something, they serve absolutely no purpose, so they're going in D tier, you know. Nothing horrid, like, enough to get thrown in there, but polar bears, they're pretty lame. Pufferfish, Pufferfish are really useful for getting a certain achievement where you have to get every, like, effect in the game. Besides that, they're a terrible food source because they give you, like, nausea and all that stuff. They come very often whenever you're fishing, and at the start of my Minecraft journeys, whenever Pufferfish first came out, I really did like them, but now my love for them has, like, slowly just declined. So for that, Pufferfish, just because, okay, I'm going to be very generous. Just because they were such a big part of my childhood, I'm putting Pufferfish at a B tier. Alright, next up we got rabbits. Rabbits are really annoying. Rabbit hide does absolutely nothing. Lucky rabbit's foot don't really do anything. Rabbit food, I mean, it's as good as chicken. They're really annoying to track down because they run really fast, like the Ocelot. So I'm going to give them a D tier. They're not really special to me. Next up, we got the Ravager. Now, the Ravager is this big beast of a thing whenever you're doing a raid, okay? They hit like a truck, and they take damage like a tank. Now, I don't personally hate these things, just because having a bow is really useful in raids, and you can easily just pick these guys off. So for that, I'm going to give the Ravager a B tier. Next up, we got the Salmon. Another fish in the little fish family that, I mean, they're there. They're food. They're really useful whenever you, like, are trying to get stuff from fish farms and you just constantly have food. Although they are just kind of basic, so I'm going to throw the salmon in a C tier. Next up, sheep. Hear me out. Sheep are super, super useful. You can get wool, which you can make stuff with. You can make cool builds with. You need wool for beds, okay? You have to sleep or those phantoms are going to get you. Mutton, which is a pretty good food source. That's what I've been eating while we've recorded this video. I think, yeah, mutton. This is what sheep give off. Sheep, they do the little baa, which is just a tad bit annoying. And I think sheep are also iconic when it comes to Minecraft. So I'm going to give sheep an S tier.
Ooh, yeah, that's bold.
I genuinely think sheep are so useful. And back in the...
Alright, take two.
Alright. And back in the day when we didn't have, like, concrete, terracotta or clay, which it was called, didn't look the best, and wool was your best friend if you were a builder. So I gotta give sheep an S. So we got shulkers. Shulkers, they are a hit or miss kind of mob for me. They're really annoying when you're trying to get your elytra, and they shoot those little particles that make you levitate. The only way you can kill a shulker is if their little thing is like raised up. Yeah. And they do give you things for shulker boxes, which are basically backpacks in the world of Minecraft, that you can just, like, carry a bunch of stuff in. I think shulkers are pretty cool. So for this, shulkers are going to get a B. Okay, they're really useful, but they can be super annoying. Next up, we got silverfish. I'm not even talking about these things. These things are annoying. They're stupid. They don't really mean anything in the grand scheme of life. They're going on the F tier. That's all I have to say about that. Next up, we have skeletons. Another iconic. When you think Minecraft, right? You think creepers. You think steep. You think zombies. You think skeletons, okay? They drop bows. They drop bones, which are really important. They drop arrows. They drop their head, which is pretty cool. They drop armor when they're wearing it. They're a pretty cool mob, but they're really, really annoying whenever you're just trying to fight a bunch of mobs and then there's just a skeleton in the background just trying to mess you up. So I think skeletons are such iconic mobs and they drop a lot of stuff, but they're so annoying that they're gonna get an A. Next up, you got the skeleton horse. This thing means nothing to me, really. I don't think it's really anything of importance. I'm going to give the skeleton horse a D tier, just because it's really lame and it serves no purpose. Next up, you got slimes. Now, personally, I don't mind slimes at all. I don't really encounter them a lot. They give slime balls, which are important for, like, redstone stuff, and they don't look too bad either. I think they look really cool, and they don't really bother me because, I don't see them a lot. So I'm going to give slimes a B. Now you got a spider. Another... I can't help but say this because there's a couple of just OG mobs, okay? I'm going to say that for the spider. I don't think the spider's too iconic for Minecraft. Of course it's iconic, but not too iconic as, like, say, the sheep or the creeper. But it is an OG mob, and they're not that annoying. You know, they don't attack you in the day. At night, they sometimes just don't attack you at all, and they're not too hard to fight. They drop string and spider eyes and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to go give a spider a B tier. Next up, you got the squid. Now, I don't think, again, the squid is too useful at all. But, I mean, it's pretty iconic. It's pretty OG, I guess. It's cool. So the squid's going to get a tier higher than its brother, the Glow Squid. It's going to get a D tier. Alright, next up you got strays. You gave the husk a D tier just because it's a remake. I'm giving the stray an F tier just because it's lame. It's a cold skeleton, okay? That's all it is. It's stupid. It's lame. I don't like it. I never see it. I don't want it in the... I don't care if it's in the game, but, like, I don't care about it at all. Striders. I don't actually have too much experience with striders, if I'm going to be completely honest. Striders are pretty interesting. They are little mobs that can get you across lava lakes. You can put saddles on them, and sometimes piglins spawn on them, or pigmen, and then they get cold if they're not in lava. So I think striders are really cute, really cool. So striders are going to get an A. Okay, so now you got traders llamas, just like the regular llamas. They're okay. I mean, they come pre-tamed, and they give you leads whenever you kill them or you kill the wandering trader, which I think is actually really beneficial because they do spawn a lot. Leads are pretty hard to come by, so I'm gonna give trader llamas a C. Next up, you got tropical fish. Again, another fish. I think it's kind of not as cool as, you know, the salmon. They only drop clownfish, which you can't even cook, which aren't even good source of food. I mean, they kind of look cool because there's a ton of, like, different variants in the water, but you can't pick those up, you know? It's just, like, if they're spawned. So they're going to get a D tier. A very low D tier, I must add. Now you got the turtle. Again, I don't have a bunch of experience with the turtle. I know they drop, like, some seagrass or something, and you can get that helmet right there, which gives you, like, water breathing or aqua affinity or something. I don't know. But I think the turtle is pretty. I mean, it looks cool. It drops turtle eggs, which you can use to make, like, farms and stuff. But I think the turtle, it deserves a high D tier. Alright, now we got the Vex. Can anyone down in the comments below guess, just take a wild gander on where I'm going, okay? I'll give you a subtle hint, okay? I'll give you a subtle hint. Yeah, the Vex is going in F tier. One of the most annoying mobs in the game, okay? You're constantly dealing with Evokers that spawn Vexes, and they're just stupid. They fly around, they have iron swords, they can die. You got villagers. Now, villagers are going to get an S tier, okay? You can trade with villagers to get tons and tons of stuff. And you can also use villagers for farms. Villages exist, which can get you pretty cool loot and cool structures. Villagers are just iconic. They serve a great purpose, and they deserve an S tier. Next up, you got the Vindicator. Again, another mob I don't encounter a lot. But when I have, he's been really annoying. He just runs at you with an axe. A little fun fact about Vindicators: you can name them like Joey or something like that, and they will like run around and murder everything. But genuinely, they're kind of annoying. So I'm gonna give Vindicators, or not Vindicators, yeah, Vindicators an F tier. Next up, you got Wandering Traders. Wandering Traders, they bring you the llamas for leads. And they don't ever have good loot, you know, but they do spawn a lot. So I think the same reason that I gave the Wandering Trader llamas a C, I'm going to give the Wandering Traders a C. They would have gone in D, but they do have trades as well, and they have the same purpose. Like, I think the Trader's llama contribute to the game of just spawning and being there. So I'm just going to go ahead and place him there. Alright, now you got the Witch. I don't think the Witch is OG. I don't think the Witch is iconic. They drop potions and like random like ingredients that you can use. Personally, I don't think the Witches are too powerful, and I don't think they're too annoying. But genuinely, if the Witches like dropped random potions or something like that, I think that would bump them like to a B, maybe an A. But right now, where witches stand, they're kind of useless. And witch huts are really lame, so witches are going to get a D. Up, you got the Wither Skeleton, a mob in the nether that will hit you, and you will get the wither effect that will slowly kill you. It cannot go in 2 block gaps, and personally, I don't think that's hard. But one thing about the Wither Skeletons is you get their heads, which gets you allowed to do the Wither, to fight the Wither. So, Wither Skeletons, very important mob. They don't drop their head too often. They drop like a stone sword or whatever. Wither Skeletons are going to get a B. Next up, you got Wolves. Now, wolves, dogs, whatever you want to call them, they are kind of useful. They are iconic, I will say. You can make wolf armies whenever you're fighting in PvP. They're very useful because they can like attack the other person, distract the other person. They die easily though, and but I genuinely think wolves are pretty cool. I do like having like dogs and stuff. So wolves, I'm gonna give you guys an A, okay? Untamed wolves, if you hit them, they will get aggressive, and they do kill sheep, but otherwise they're not that hard to kill, and I think wolves are pretty cool. Next up, you got the Zoglin. I'm throwing Zoglin in F because Zoglins are really useless. They attack you a lot and they hit pretty hard. Unlike the Hoglin, you know, I don't think Zoglins are cool at all. So Zoglins, they're gonna go there. Okay, zombies, you're going in S. Okay, they're too iconic not to go in S. Zombies, they're not that hard to kill, they're not that annoying, they drop rotten flesh and stuff like that. Zombies, they've been in the game since like day, not 1, but like really, really early stages, so zombies have to go S. Next up, you got zombie horses. I think it's only fitting to put it with its brother, the skeleton horse. Again, it just doesn't really serve a purpose for me, and those kind of horses are kind of lame, so I'm gonna put it right underneath its brother. Alright, next up, you got the Zombie Villager. Now, zombie villagers are when they get infected by villagers, and you can, like, cure them, and then once you cure a villager, you can get better trades, but they're the same as zombies, not iconic, but they are the way to get, like, cheap trades and to start getting really cool stuff. So for that, I'm gonna give zombie villagers, I'm gonna give zombie villagers a C, okay? I know they are really useful to like start the process, but villagers are really the process, so they're gonna go in a C. Next up, you got zombie pigmen, the OG of the Nether. Okay, they drop gold if you hit one. All their friends come after you, but if you don't, they're passive, which I think is really cool. They're really chill. They're a chill mob, so I'm gonna give them a B. Alright, next up, you got the Ender Dragon. Now, I have been very gracious with where I'm going, and I'm gonna continue that, okay? The Ender Dragon is a huge part of Minecraft. You have to kill it and go through the portal to beat the game. It gives gateways to end cities. It gives you tons of experience. It gives you a dragon head, a dragon egg, and I really think it's truly the true boss of Minecraft, the way you win. So, Ender Dragons, they're gonna go right there. Next up, for my regular mobs, we're gonna have the Charge Creeper. Now, this is only fitting because there's a Charge Creeper shrine right over there. But Charge Creepers, they're pretty cool. They're how you get heads without a plugin, because that's what we have on this server. But they are really cool. They only get spawned when a creeper is struck by lightning. You can get heads with them, and they are like the most powerful mob in the game. That can one-shot you with netherite armor, okay? So for that, charged creepers are going to get an A. Next up, we're going to get into some old, not in the game anymore characters. First up, you got Steve, which like is this little mob just like Jericho's Beast Boy and Black Steve. Really a useless mob that really didn't add anything. So I think it's only fitting that Steve and Rana, which will be seen on screen right now, I'm going to do this as a joint one. This is both of them. Steve and Rana are going to go with their buddies in that little 4, and they're going to go in D. Just really, they're really strange, okay? Not a lot of people know about them, so I think right there is fine. Alright, so this is probably going to be the hardest one I've done yet. HeroBrine, okay? We all know the story of HeroBrine. He's like the scary Steve. He's like Slender Man of Minecraft, okay? He kills the player. I don't even know a lot about this guy. I know he was in the game in like a patch notes or whatever. But HeroBrine, I think because of the lore and just like how much deals with him, I think HeroBrine has to go S. I know I've had now 5 S tiers and Jericho only had 1, but like, come on. Look at these. These are obviously deserving of S tiers, and I think HeroBrine, while it isn't in the game, and if it was right now, I think it would be like J tier or whatever comes after S, because that would be really cool. Next up, you got Killer Bunnies, which I didn't even know were in the game. Killer Bunnies are evil bunnies that will attack you and hop at you. Really stupid. I never wish that these come back, so they're going in F. For my last non-April Fool's mob, like we've talked about, we have the human. The very first mob in the game, it was just basically Steve's that like flailed their arms everywhere. And it's cool. I'm going to give it a B as the sky literally turns into a tsunami. But I'm going to give it a B just because it was like the first mob. I'm not giving it an A because it wasn't like cool or anything. It didn't serve a purpose. But I think a B tier is fine.
You know what? Actually, I'm going to go ahead and change one of the rankings. I'm going to give the Phantom an A. Because
okay.
I thought of something, and I apologize, it's going to look a little bit weird. But I'm going to give the Phantom an A. Because you can also, well, if you don't have mending on your Elytra, you can use the Remembrance to repair your Elytra.
After that surprise change up, we have my last 3 mobs, which were a part of the April Fool's event. First up, we got the Smiling Creeper. Now, the Smiling Creeper did not explode. It just kind of got near you and then just smiled at you, okay? It's kind of funny. I'm going to give it a C just because of the lulz, but Smiling Creeper, it's nice to have an iconic creeper that doesn't blow up. Next up, you got the Pony, which was just like a pig with a horse skin. It didn't really do anything, and it was really lame. I was gonna give it a D, but just because it really doesn't do anything, and it's probably the worst looking one out of them all, it's gonna go F. Plus, it's like really hard to find information on this one. Like all the other ones do a certain ability. I can't find what this thing does. My last mob is the Nerd Creeper. So, interesting story about this, I just looked it up. Nerd Creepers were used when players used a cheat command, and this would spawn in a creeper with a different skin, and it would decide how smart the creeper is. Now, I think that story is very interesting, but again, it was just a normal creeper. And so for that, it's gonna get a C.
Alright, so I apologize, I missed a couple. So, we have two more mobs to review. So first one we got is the Redstone Bug. Now, these were just smaller silverfish. They were red. I'm not sure if they attacked you or not, but...
They did. They dropped redstone.
Okay, so they attacked you, they dropped redstone. So, I honestly think that that's pretty neat. I'm gonna give it a B tier. Alright, so the final mob that we have today is the Pink Wither. And if you're not familiar with what that did, it shot hearts at you and that allowed you to regen. Now, quite like the Love Golem, one look at this thing and, well, I like the shade of pink. The only thing about this thing that I really don't like is the eyes. It looks like an absolute moron. Kind of a disgrace to the Wither family, but I think that it deserves one tier lower than the Wither. I think that it's still a pretty cool mob. And I'm gonna go with B.
So guys, this has been the ranking of every single mob that has been in Minecraft. I really hope you guys did enjoy. Tell me down below what you would do different on this tier list. What mobs did we put that you just completely disagree with, okay? Because, like, you may like the Vindicator unless you're, like, someone who's weird, and you may hate the Pillager, but that's just you, okay? I want to hear your guys' opinions. I would like to give a huge shout out to Jericho for helping set this whole thing up and recording this with me. The link to his channel will be in the description below. Please go show him some love from my family to his. I think that's going to be pretty much it. I love you all dearly. Please consider liking and subscribing. Prayers for Ukraine, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.
All day, keep the lights on. I work all day, every day. I was